welcome to the Sportsman Show. I am your host, Joe Musil, from Zoom for Nutmeg Television, along with my co-host, Coachy. How you doing, Coach?
Good. How are you? Happy Special Friday edition.
Special Friday edition. Why are we doing this Special Friday edition? We're doing this because of the 4th of July. We are doing it. 4th of July is tomorrow, actually. It's not totally today, but a lot of great memories have happened on the 4th of July in sports things. One of the most famous sports memorabilia is Greg Louganis. He did his famous speech on July 4th. I'm never the luckiest man in the world speech, and before he passed away. But a couple other greatest hits for the 4th. We have Joe Louis. Actually started his professional career in 1934. And you know how great Joe Louis turned out to be. A couple other ones. Let's see. David Wrighty, 1983, pitched a no-hitter against your Red Sox.
What a surprise.
Yeah, what a surprise. He pitched a no-hitter for New York against the Boston Red Sox. Nolan Ryan got his 3,000th strikeout on this special day. And Pete Sampras won his single Wimbledon championship on this day in 1993. Yeah, and that's just some of the great things that happen on July 4th. Unfortunately, July 4th is a lot different this year because of COVID-19. There's not a lot of fireworks. There's no baseball to be anything else like that. So I don't know what other special moments that tomorrow will bring, but that was some of the special moments.
Just except for people who wanted to buy these fireworks to light up in their backyard for tomorrow night, which is going to be an amazing thing where you're just going to see how much these people are going to be trying to do some stupid things with it.
Yes. You're going to have the people doing some stupid things and stuff like that. You may have to hide your dog in the closet or something.
You may have to give the dog a tranquilizer.
You have to give the dog a tranquilizer. Put the dog out. So,
yep. Now, one of the famous things we also have on the 4th of July, everybody, is the famous Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest.
Yes.
Which is normally held at Coney Island in New York. Well, unfortunately this year, due to the pandemic, it is going to be moved to a different location. There will be no fans allowed, but you'll get a chance to see Joey Chestnut do it all again to see how many hot dogs you can eat in 10 minutes.
I think he's going to go break the record of 72 hot dogs in 10 minutes. So he's going to try to break that. I know I can't do that. Oh,
no, neither can I, because someone what Joey Chestnut likes to do is he likes to try and eat 2 hot dogs at once. Forget the hot dog buns. We just eat the hot dogs, and then we drink the lemonade, and he tries to gulp it down. And what the amazing thing with all these people is, it's amazing that nobody gets sick after it's all done.
Yeah, nobody vomiting, nobody tired of hot dogs. They must be tired of hot dogs for a couple of weeks.
And these guys as well. They do a lot more than eating hot dogs. They like to eat hamburgers. They've done pancakes.
Yeah, I've seen these guys eat bowls of mayonnaise.
I know. That's way too much.
I watched.
If you want to do it in tuna fish, for example, but don't do it mayonnaise completely.
It was just complete mayonnaise, and he had a large spoon, and he was doing a mayonnaise contest.
Now, also with this hot dog eating contest, the females have they now actually have a female champion as well, which they've done that the last couple of years, which I think is more fair now, because back in the day, you only had one champion.
Yep. So I forgot her name. I don't know her name.
I don't. I'll have to look it up. But,
yep. Look it up.
But the person who Joey Chestnut used to go against was Kobayashi.
Kobe, yeah, I think he's retired now, ain't he?
Yeah, well, no, he got in trouble once because when he lost in a contest, I think he went off and.
Well, they have that whole big story about Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi and stuff, and if I remember the story correctly, he got tossed out because he didn't want to do something with the sponsors and stuff like that. He wanted to do his own thing, and and the sponsors didn't like that, and he got tossed out.
Yup.
He actually beat Joey Chestnut once. He did the competition like a few blocks away, and he beat Joey Chestnut, but it wasn't official. And he kind of fell off the map after that a little.
Yup. Now, according to the stats from what I've seen from last year, Joey Chestnut ate 71 hot dogs in 2019, and the year before he ate 74.
Yep. So he'll be going for 75 probably.
Well, we hope so. The women's champion, she's won it the last couple of years. Mickey Sudo is her name. She ate 31 hot dogs last year, and she ate 37 hot dogs the year before.
Oh, jeez. Okay, yummy hot dogs.
Yeah, good luck. Like I said, don't put any mustard, don't put any condiments on it, or else you're asking for a lot of trouble if you put anything on those hot dogs. Well, it's enough they dip it into the water or the lemonade or whatever they do to it.
Yeah, they dip it into the water. That's actually just straight water that they actually dip it in.
Spring. It's actually straight water. I don't know what name brand.
It shrinks the bun. It makes the bread less. Because
it's very soggy too, of course.
Yeah. When it goes into your system, it just doesn't expand.
Yeah, it's gonna really make your stomach worthwhile too.
Yeah, so good luck to them. I'm sure they'll enjoy eating all those hot dogs and everything.
The contest tomorrow starts at 12 o'clock.
Yep.
So, but they're probably going to be talking for a bit. So, if you want to make a guess, I'll probably say between 12:30 and 1, they'll probably get that contest going.
Yeah, and good luck to them, and we'll see who eats the most hot dogs.
Nobody gets sick.
Nobody will get sick. It's a tremendous accomplishment, I guess.
It's an event that's gotten to be traditional now.
Yeah, so they've been doing it, for well over how many years?
Let me see. I can check this right now.
I'm guessing maybe 30.
Since 1967.
Oh, 1967.
The first person to do it was Walter Paul.
Okay.
And he ate 127?
Yeah, right.
Unknown.
He ate 120. That's a lot of hot.
Yeah, it said the contest was held back on June 30th, designated as the 100th anniversary of the invention of the hot dog. It was won by a 400-pound, 32-year-old truck driver.
Yeah, which died of a heart attack shortly after, probably.
Yeah, probably years later. But looking at this stat, the record is for the men, it's 74.
Yep.
For Joey Chestnut. And looking at the women, who was it? Was it? Yeah, it was Mickey Sudo, who had 41 hot dogs one year in 10 minutes.
10 minutes, 41 hot dogs.
Yep. Now, the one we were talking about, Takeru Kobayashi.
Kobayashi, yep.
If memory serves me right on this, him and Chestnut had to go to a playoff because they tied the amount of hot dogs they eaten, and I believe
one of the years they did. I think that was the final year that they actually competed on the same stage.
Mm-hmm. And that's when Kobayashi went off and got thrown off the stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now looking at the memory, I said, yeah, now I remember that contest where there was a tiebreaker, and I believe, what was it? Was it like, I think it was a 5-minute?
Yeah, it was a 5-minute.
It was a 5-minute sudden death.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be sudden death because
guaranteed
they're going to wolf down some more hot dogs.
Overtime.
Yeah.
So that's as crazy as it gets. So
that's a big
event. All
event.
right, so we got that out of the way with the hot dog eating contest.
Yep.
The next topic, and unfortunately we both feel bad this happened. We missed it by 5 minutes last week.
Yeah, 5 minutes. We were off the air, and it happened. I texted my brother-in-law right away. I had a feeling down inside that this was going to happen.
Well, this is what it came down to. You knew New England wasn't trustworthy of the quarterback that they have now. They want to develop him.
Yeah.
However, we didn't think it was going to be this long for Cam Newton to wait for this kind of time to see where he would sign up. When he signed that one-year deal with New England, the first thing we said, we just looked. Well, we didn't look at each other. We just said,
No.
Okay. We didn't expect this to happen. It's going to start at $1.5 million.
Well, it's incentive based. It goes up to about 7. 7 and some change.
I heard about up to 8.5.
8.5? Okay. 8.5.
It all depends what he does, if he isn't injured, how far he goes, and if he reaches the Super Bowl, then here comes more bonus money.
Well, okay, it's very little risk for the Patriots to sign him. Very little risk.
To me, it's nothing to lose.
There's nothing to lose for the New England Patriots. It's all on Cam Newton to prove himself again. I mean, the guy is a former national champion, former Heisman Trophy winner. He is a former MVP of the league, of the National Football League.
And he did play very well with the Carolina Panthers when he wasn't injured. And at least when Ron Rivera came over to the team, at least he knocked some sense into him a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit.
I mean, Cam Newton is an athlete. He's a fully built athlete. His athletic talents on the field make him better. I mean, but what comes down to Cam Newton is just his mental status. If the team is flying high and going well, he sticks himself out into the press. He talks to the press. It's upbeat and stuff. It's very positive. But when the team starts going bad and south, he disappears. He clams up. He doesn't take losing very well.
No, and he's going to a team where, number one, losing is not acceptable.
Yes, that's true. Losing is not acceptable. Bill Belichick's way, I believe he needs structure. The last coach you said for Carolina gave him structure.
Yeah, when Ron Rivera
gave him very good structure.
Yep.
And
once
Cam
he got fired,
don't need that.
Unfortunately, once he got fired, he really didn't get his job back. And number two, he really didn't look the same. And now he's got himself a second chance. But to me, I don't think he needs to run with the football as much.
No.
That's my scared part with him because he's had an injury from running with the football before.
Yes. Him running with the football is not always a good thing. He's not Russell Wilson. He hasn't learned how to slide. Russell Wilson knows how to get out of bounds. Russell Wilson knows how to throw it out of bounds before he gets that big hit. Russell Wilson's learned that in a very short amount of time and still a running quarterback.
He's been out there since day one. So remember, he started right away as a quarterback. He didn't wait to be on the bench once he got signed.
No. But I'm just comparing Cam Newton to Russell Wilson, that Russell Wilson is still a running quarterback, but he's learned more than Cam.
That's because now he's protected himself now because, remember, there's no more helmet shots in football.
No, there's no more helmet shots or anything else like that, but he guaranteed he'll still do maybe the 15, like the 10-yard run and run it down the middle and get hit.
If he sees a little bit more daylight, he'll run a couple more yards. If he sees the defender right in front of him, that's it. He's sliding down. That's it. Take your first down and move on to the next play.
That's what Cam Newton should do. But, I mean, if it's the winning play of the Super Bowl, I give Cam Newton go for it. do it. That's the right kind of moment. But if it's just a game and stuff that he doesn't really need to take that chance, he'll take that chance just to get extra flair for the press conference or something like that.
Absolutely. And he's got some time to prove, and he has an extra week now or two to get ready for football, since now the preseason's been shrunk
reduced to 2 games. Yep.
For now. That could change again.
Well, it should stay at 2. I believe they'll keep it at 2. And they're still going to have training exercises with each team and stuff like that.
Yep. For now, but remember, it can all change again.
Yeah, it could. I mean, for football to go off, it's going to take a lot. I mean, with the traveling and the pandemic happening, it's going to take a lot. It really is. Whoever's the person in charge of all this, trying to protect the players and try to figure out the next step on what's going to happen and try to prevent it, whoever's in charge of that needs a gold medal, because that person is pulling their hair out more than you are, Coachy. That person is just going,
we don't know what to do or anything like that. Yeah. And,
they're up against a really unpredictable opponent, and they're just trying to predict as much as possible. And that person needs a gold medal. Whoever does it for the NFL, whoever does it for the NHL, whoever's doing it for the NBA. So that person really does need a good job.
Absolutely.
So far, they've gotten plans and set and stuff like that, and so I hats off to that person. But you want to go back to Cam a little, or?
Yeah, I do, because I've watched Cam Newton quite a bit, because I've gone to my cousin's to watch football on his dish, and to me, he does look very scary. I mean, yes, he's thrown the ball. He can throw the ball very well. I have no doubt about that. He can do that with Edelman and Sanu.
Sanu is actually working out and getting better. Sanu says he's got a chip on the shoulder because he didn't play well last year.
No, and he knows now that he has a second chance with New England after he didn't do so well in Atlanta. Just please stay out of trouble, and he's going to be a starting receiver this coming season.
Yeah, he will be, alongside Julian Edelman.
On the other side,
I think Cam Newton will embrace Julian Edelman, way he could just dump it off to Julian Edelman or throw the short route to him and stuff. Plus, we got 2 rookie tight ends for the Patriots coming in.
Which we've never had. We never really carry too often either.
Well, we haven't had 2 rookie tight ends since Hernandez and Gronk.
Yep.
So
that could be a 1-2 punch. It could be the same thing.
It could be. But, it looks like the Patriots actually got some offensive weapons. And they have it. So if Cam Newton needs –
I know. They really didn't get a whole lot, though, during their free agency, though.
Not a whole lot. A whole lot. They got the wide receiver from Jacksonville. He'll start. It'll be Sanu, the Jacksonville guy, and Edelman for the top 3 receivers.
Yep, and as long as as long as they can keep it in check, I'm hoping the Patriots can go 10-6 this year.
Well, I predict about maybe 11-5. Because Cam Newton, if plays well, he's a game and a half in the plus column. So if he uses,
I'm not worried about that. But I will. And by the way, the player's name is Marquise Lee, who came over to New England
from Jacksonville.
He could be a very good fit. Yes, he could be a very good fit. He could. Edelman could learn a lot from him too.
Yeah, Edelman. Maybe in his last year, never know, maybe not. But I still say they're good weapons for him. it's a step in the
Yeah,
right
can
direction.
we make the playoffs? I think there's a chance they can do it. How far
Yeah.
can they go in the playoffs? I can't give an answer on that one.
Well, the only two teams that really threaten anybody in the AFC are Jacksonville and Baltimore. Not Jacksonville. I'm sorry, Kansas City and Baltimore. Those are
No,
only.
well, don't worry. That quarterback for Baltimore, after he had that wonderful little accident at the beach, if something may change with him.
Yeah,
now.
but he's fine. He's okay. I mean, he'll play if he comes back and plays with a chip on his shoulder after being thrown out in the second round pretty badly by Houston last year. I mean, he should come back. Lamar Jackson should come back. He'll have his running abilities, and he'll have those weapons that he has in Baltimore. I mean, he is a quarterback for the time being, and Patrick Mahomes, he's a quarterback. He knows what he's doing.
Yup. I mean, yeah, he had that bad injury he had in the regular season, but that was just bad luck. That had
for his kneecap and stuff, but that seems to be healed. He knows how to use his weapons. He's got a great coach in Andy Reid to mentor him and tutor him. Those are only two teams in the AFC I see that really can compete for the Super Bowl. I don't see anybody else really able to compete for the Super Bowl. I don't see anybody dethroning those two teams. Patriots, maybe. If they get a home field advantage, they may be able to.
I agree. I mean, the whole AFC East, of course, the Jets, forget it. They're going
Sam
nowhere.
Darnold is in his what?
No, third year.
He's got to prove himself.
Or they're going to go get another quarterback.
Yeah, or go get another quarterback.
So, Miami's improved a little bit.
Miami's decent and improved. Yeah.
And Buffalo's improved.
Hopefully they can come together, but they don't have a top-tier quarterback. They just don't have that top-tier quarterback. That's what you need. If you don't have that top-tier A quarterback, you're not going to the Super Bowl.
Nope.
Because Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson will beat you. Those two will beat you. But,
absolutely. All right. You got some. I came off the news today with baseball that I think this was just not too long ago. 31 people were. They did some tests, and there's a total of 31 people that have been tested positive.
Is this players or this?
They're not saying what. They're not saying
what test positive?
Yeah, they're not saying which players were.
Well, ESPN gives it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. That's where I got my report, was from ESPN right off the bat.
Well, ESPN gives baseball only a 5% chance of actually starting. So it doesn't look good.
Yeah, also 7 staff members were also tested positive. So we have a total really of 38, unfortunately. But they're not going to identify which players were tested positive.
No.
Secret.
No, though.
Because if somebody does, that's going to make the rest of the baseball players look really. They'll start getting scared.
Yeah, and they may not report to training camp or say it's not worth it.
One that I read, Chili Davis, who's the hitting coach of the New York Mets, great baseball player, by the way, back then. 60 years old. He said he's going to be doing spring training virtual, and then he said he may not be up at the club this year. He may stay away this year.
Well, he is a senior citizen. He's in more trouble of getting the disease. It's life-threatening for him. So I can understand that. Well,
I can understand that. There's been there's a couple baseball players who decided not to play this year. Mike Trout is the big one right now regarding if he wants to play this year or not.
Well, Mike Trout, let's talk about the Mike Trout. Um, Mike Trout on the Los Angeles Angels. I mean, he is a talented player. I mean, he is probably the number one baseball player in baseball. He
Yeah,
is
and a lot of
probably
people play him in fantasy baseball anyway. So
a lot of people play him there, but is Mike Trout is he the real face of baseball? I mean, usually throughout the season, you don't hear too much about him. Yes, you hear about him hitting a home run or something like that, but it's usually just quiet and low key for him.
maybe we don't hear enough about him because remember, he plays all the way out west.
Well, he plays out all the way out west. They don't make the playoffs. He hasn't made a World Series.
No, he's been to the playoffs a couple of times.
Times, but nothing big noise. No big noise. No nothing. No championship. I mean,
Nope.
I know baseball is a compilable sport. You know, you can just amass a whole bunch of numbers and get into a Hall of Fame. You don't really need the championships, but to be a really rememberable player, you need those rings. You need championships. I mean, Barry Bonds doesn't even have one.
No, he almost won it with the Worlds. He almost won it once with San Francisco, but it never happened.
But if you just want to be a Barry Bonds type of baseball player, that's fine. But it really doesn't. It makes you. It gets you into the Hall of Fame, but it doesn't get you to the next level into the other rooms. You know what I mean?
I agree.
But that's what I say about Mike Trout. If he takes a year off or anything like that, doesn't want to play, the only city that really is hurting is Los Angeles. I mean,
and don't forget they just got a new manager this year. Now Joe Madden went over there now.
Yeah, and I mean, he's the face of that franchise, but he's not a face of baseball. I mean, even Aaron Judge, if he doesn't play in 60 games this year, that's felt in New York and in Boston. He's felt in two cities because of the rivalry and stuff like that. But he's making a better face for himself than Mike Trout is.
Yeah, absolutely. He's giving it all he has. And yes, he is scheduled to go and play this season. They said he was ready to go for first day of extended spring training, and I haven't heard anything bad about him so far, so it looks like he's going to be ready to go.
Yeah, he should be ready to go, but he's making himself more memorable in his career than Mike Trout is.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't forget, Mike Trout, of course, he signed a big contract to stay with the Angels.
He signed that huge contract. He could have came to the Yankees. If he
wanted
to,
he would have gone over there because of how much the Yankees can afford him.
Yeah, he could have went. I mean, we could have had Mike Trout instead of Carlos
or
Stanton.
Jacoby Ellsbury.
Yeah, he sits on the bench.
He
actually got cut.
Yeah,
he actually got cut. He's got cut now, but
yeah, finally. I think they still have to pay him one more year of his contract.
I think we're done paying him. Hopefully.
Okay.
We'll give him some ice cream and tell him to go away.
Yeah, well, let him have more than ice cream at this point. So.
No more than ice cream.
No more than ice cream.
Maybe with some sprinkles on it.
Yeah, well, yeah, we could do that too. But the good news is baseball has started their spring training. They start the regular season 3 weeks from today, we hope.
Yep, baseball starts up.
Now, we still haven't seen a schedule yet. Who's going to play who?
Nope, no schedule, no nothing like that. Hopefully in the next week or so.
Maybe within the next week.
We get a schedule. See what these games are. You suggested that they're going to play 10 games inside their division.
10. Everybody will get 10 in the division, and then everybody will be playing the interleague version. Yes, the DH will be affecting both leagues this year.
Yeah, DH. We'll argue that one day when
Yeah.
we have really nothing to do.
Oh,
If
no,
baseball cancels, then we can argue.
then we'll start talking about that. But right
Yeah.
now, as long as baseball doesn't cancel, guess what? We are not talking.
We're
about
not going to argue with that
No,
right now.
because that DH debate can go so many ways. There's a lot of people out there who's going to say, okay, there should be a DH for the National League. We shouldn't have a DH. We shouldn't have a DH at all in 2 weeks. But like I said, I'm not going to start going into that detail. I think we will wait on that.
Yeah. We're just going to start arguing.
Right.
Right.
We don't want that.
We don't want that right now.
No.
But, all right. So anything else for baseball?
Besides what I just said about the positive cases that have gone up, I haven't really heard anything about except somebody for the Cubs. I heard he got hurt cutting himself at home, but
well, that's a Cubs problem.
Yeah, I know. It was a pitcher for the Cubs. I know
Would he
that
cut
much.
himself making a Danish or something like the last guy did?
No, I don't know. Remember the last player I heard something happened with an accident was a hockey player cut himself trying to do something in September, and he's been out for a long time, and I believe he's coming back now. So
yeah, so that's pretty much for baseball. We're just waiting
I can tell you the player who did it. It was Jose Quintana of the Chicago Cubs had surgery after a dishwashing incident.
A dishwasher. Yeah, those dishwashers are brutal. They come out and attack people.
Yeah, he suffered a laceration while washing dishes.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Washing dishes. Coachy, that sounds like you.
I probably
suffer that issue.
The dishwasher, could. But.
Dishwashers start beating up on Coachy.
Now, I would normally bring up the NHL next, but I'm not going to bring that up right now because that seems to be all set. The reason why we need to go to the NBA is because we have a possibility of other teams who didn't make the playoffs. They're going to be playing some of these games in Chicago.
Yep. So they're going to be playing in Chicago. These are the 8 teams that didn't make the playoffs.
Didn't make it, correct.
I heard they're just going to play light scrimmage games just to keep the players in shape.
Yep.
I think they're going to make money off of that or something like that, just to give them some of their salary.
Rules too in Orlando. You have to be in a bubble.
Yep. So that's going to be a bubble Chicago.
Yep, and obviously we're going to wait and see how that goes. There have been a couple NBA players who decided that they don't feel comfortable about restarting. They want to wait and come back next year. There's quite a few players who are happy this thing helped their injuries or ready to go. A
couple other players want to do Black Lives Matter and stuff. They want to do that.
Yeah, I know. They're going to do the
now.
messages on that. I heard about that.
So, at least basketball is going to get maybe 50% of their players all back, and they're going to shove them in one spot, toss the ball up, and see who wins the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that happens.
Yep, but it just seems so weird that some of these players start traveling because it starts on the 30th. You would think probably within the next 2 weeks, within the next 1 to 2 weeks, they all start coming down to Orlando one by one.
Well, I see all the Boston Celtics and stuff like that. They're all practicing in Bostonville. They're all getting ready and stuff. And Kemba Walker was on a radio show. I think it was for ESPN and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he's all ready. He said he was all set and ready, but he also said he was a single guy.
Yeah.
He has no cares and no worries.
He's in good shape.
Yeah, he's in good shape. He has no cares and worries. He's not going to miss his wife for 2 months. But he can really concentrate on basketball. So,
right.
I mean, the Celtics look like they're in pretty good shape there heading into this. Because if any of those top-seeded teams or something like that, if Celtics stay at the 3rd seed, I mean, they could – if somebody gets COVID-19 for a couple weeks and stuff, Celtics could be right there for the championship.
Yep. It all depends on how many players on that team do get it and then have to self-quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yep. Hopefully they – I mean, I seen what they've done for the New Britain Bees. They have guys in, like, hazmat suits spraying, like, this chemical in the air that kills COVID-19 and kills just about anything else. So,
Yup.
so I mean, I'm sure that they're doing that down in Orlando. I'm sure they're spraying that stuff around, and they're going to be in a bubble
after every game's over. Or no, at halftime or when every game's over, they're going to have to spray that arena down. And you probably got to give them like about 2 hours before the next game starts.
I think it is going to be an hour or 2 hours before the next game starts. I think so. Just so they can disinfect everything down, wipe everything down, move one team out, move the other team out, back to your facilities.
You're looking at probably, 4 games a day?
Yeah, about 4 games a day. They could, because they're going to have 2 arenas, and about 4 games, 2 during the day and 2 during the night. For the
unless, of course, if they use the 3 arenas in the NBA, then they can get it done faster. They can have 12 games done in one day.
Yeah, but for the 8 games playing for the seeding. So
to me, they should have just went right to the playoffs and not having to worry about.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on this. It was kind of weird that they were going to come out with this 8-game seeding for seeding, but I mean, because LA already had top seed locked up. Milwaukee already had the top seeded locked up because they were in front of the games maybe 8 or 7 games anyways. So nobody's going to challenge them anyways.
Right. It's about the bottom seeds.
It's the bottom seeds, and with no home court advantage to gain, there's nothing really – I mean, just to get back into shape, play these 8 games. The 8 games – actually may slow the NBA down to get to the playoffs.
Or if people start getting tested positive and then
that's what I mean by slowing them down. Because if this doesn't work, it's not going back up again.
Slow down and they have to close shop again.
It's not going back up.
This is not going back up. He's going to declare it.
The ball's not going to be tossed up in the center court. Everybody's going to be shipped home.
The ball's going to get shined up and get put into a box for the season.
Yep.
Probably never to be used again.
Well, hopefully it'll be used again, but it'll be taken out next year.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is one shot and done with this. This is the last chance you get. Last chance you get. So I agree with basketball. They should have just started with the playoffs, but they saw that they couldn't make enough money off of just doing with the playoffs. I mean, they wanted to showcase Zion Williams. That's why they stuck the Pelicans in with it.
Alvin Gentry, the coach of the New Orleans Pelicans, at first wasn't comfortable about coming back for the restart, but now he's elected to. Now he's going to come down with the team and coach.
Well, of course, yeah, he's going to coach and stuff like that. But the NBA wanted to showcase Zion Williams. I mean, he's the next LeBron. This is the reason why we're playing 8 games. This is the reason why we're playing the eight games that we're doing.
Absolutely. Now, of course, in hockey they didn't want to try and attempt to do this. Thank goodness, in a way.
In a way, I mean, they didn't. They stuck more teams in the playoffs, but it's only single game elimination or
3 out of 5 in the first round.
3 out of 5 out of the first round. So They should have stuck that to best out of 3.
Yeah, me too.
That's a lot of.
I agree with that because 3 out of 5 you can really drag this out if all those series goes all 5 games.
I mean, yeah, that's a lot of games. That's
Yep.
a crap load of games. And
but now, of course, speaking of hockey, I can tell you right now, all that the 2 hub cities are going to be named up north of the border, Toronto and Edmonton. Las Vegas bowed out because they think the cases were surging. I didn't think they would have a chance to begin with anyway. Chicago, I thought, was doing all right because it wasn't as bad. And Los Angeles, well, I'm sorry. They've been spiking way too much. You had to take it out of California.
Okay.
But the problem is north of the border, they're going to have to get an exemption to come travel up here because I believe they've not lifted that ban yet. Am I correct?
I don't think they have lifted the ban. I don't think they have.
I don't think they have either, from what I was told.
They may have to require a special travel ban.
Yeah, it's not like the Toronto Blue Jays where they got exemption to do this because they were going to be told no at first.
Yeah, they were going to tell no, but
yeah, across their shared land borders on May 20th, all parties agreed to extend the restrictions on non-essential travel. Their shared borders until June 22nd. Yeah, well, that was long gone already.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if they extended that restrictions or not. But
if they can gather every other team, stick them on a germ-free plane, and just fly them over there
privately. Don't even send them to an airport.
Don't worry, Coachy. Major league players and everything else, they fly jumbo jets. They don't fly coach. They don't fly.
No. I'm not worried about having them fly coach, Joe. I'm more worried about them not having to go to the airport to go get to their destination. Just
guaranteed that they'll funnel them through another secret gate out to their big jet, out to their big plane. They'll keep them inside a bubble. They'll just tell them, get on the plane, you're going. See you later.
Yep. See you later. You don't want to go, then just let us know and we'll keep you home for the season.
Yeah, that's all. You want to go, get on the plane. Plane only has enough fuel to get there.
Yep.
So if
now, the fun thing is with this sport is next week, if all goes well, training camp opens up.
For what?
Hockey, 1 week from today.
Hockey, yep. So they're going to have a short training camp.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. That should be enough.
It looks like it's 2 weeks, and they may start the same days when baseball starts, too.
Okay. So we'll have hockey and baseball
going. And then, of course, already Fox is so happy about baseball coming back with NASCAR's over. Now they can put their games on Fox the rest of the season if they really want to.
Yeah. Well, Fox is tired of playing the greatest hits of all time sports.
Yeah, I know. That's why they got rid of the U.S. Open for golf and said, you know what, we can't deal with you anymore. You're going back to NBC. So.
Yeah, but Fox has been playing the greatest hits of all times. They're playing regular season games of baseball over again. And that's how desperate they are. Yeah,
or
sports
putting reruns
content
of football or anything like that, or even NASCAR. But unfortunately, NASCAR is done on Fox for the season. So
yeah, I mean, sports content for the amount of money that it makes and stuff like that, and it does cost, is cheap, very cheap entertainment. It's very cheap entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they kicked off Saturday morning cartoons back in the day.
Oh, crud, is it long gone?
Yeah, they kicked off Saturday morning cartoons because it costs more than airing a baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about that. I mean, it costed like $50 million for the cartoon. It costs $25 million for like the baseball game. So, I could see Fox and ESPN and everything else hungry for sports content.
Well, don't forget too, CBS just came back a little bit with their golf now. This is their third weekend in a row. They're getting golf again.
Yeah, so that's why
NBC is actually getting tomorrow for the 4th of July. They're getting a double dose of racing. I think the IndyCar series is in the afternoon, and I think the NASCAR series, I believe, is in the evening from the Brickyard in Indianapolis.
And I guarantee these networks are very happy to have these events back. They're very happy to have sports event back.
They're starting to get there. Even TNT's starting to do the NBA shows now a little bit, which I think
TNT's starting to do they started doing college basketball a couple years ago from CBS. They bought those rights and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cheap entertainment, Coachy. It's very cheap. I mean, it costs more to run a rerun of Batman, the movie, than it does for a live sporting event.
For a live sporting event.
It does. That's why these networks latch on to sports, and it brings in more revenue, and it brings in more eyes than the movie does. That's why HBO does Hard Knocks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sports
they
content.
They do that shows at night, and they keep their kids shows on in the morning. So
yeah, I mean, sports content brings in money.
It's just too bad when HBO lost their privileges with boxing. I thought they were really outstanding with how the boxing stuff went.
Yeah, they did. They did very good.
Now you go to a DAZN network where you have to pay extra money to do that, which is now you have to either find a way to watch on the computer, or you have to pay a subscription, or
Fox does a couple boxing events.
Yeah, but sometimes Fox goes to
FH1
pay-per-view though.
Yeah, and then they go to pay-per-view.
That's when I go on my computer and I find a way to watch it for free. But otherwise, it's going to cost you like $60.
$60. And if it's done in 10 seconds, it's still $60.
Yeah, guess what? That's happened many times when people back in the day when Mike Tyson was fighting.
Mike Tyson lasted 30 seconds.
$54.95 for the pay-per-view event. Oh, no, I'm sorry, you just lost your money. You just knocked someone out in the first round, not even a minute and a half into the contest.
Yep, not even. But
and we've seen that many times before too. With boxing.
Many times.
But But I do want to say, though, speaking of boxing, I've been able to watch a couple of the fights from Las Vegas. I think they've done okay with it. No, there haven't been too many crazy knockouts or anything like that. There have been some good shots, some knockdowns. I do want to iterate on Tuesday night that one of the boxers who had to fight, his father wasn't allowed to be in his corner because, unfortunately, he was out of the bubble.
Oh, okay.
Meaning that he took off. I believe he didn't have his mask on or anything like that.
And he wasn't allowed back in the bubble.
Once that happened, they got told no. He had to leave the arena.
See, that could happen to the NBA. That could happen to the Major League Baseball
and the NHL too.
Once that player leaves that bubble, that
you better have a mask on. Because unfortunately,
better have some mask on. Better have 2 hands of Perel on you. And if you don't get back in, you're not getting back in.
His father didn't realize that. I think he was going for a cup of coffee. He took the mask off. I'm like, it's one thing. If you want to take your mask off, take it off when you're in the bubble for like 5 seconds, then put it back on. I understand it's not fun to breathe in those things. I should know. I wear them to work. Every day, which is not the best. I hear a few customers always say that they complain about
the ears being hurt and stuff, wearing the mask.
Yeah, and yes, there are a few people now who don't wear the mask. Now, of course, some stores are getting to be mandatory now. You either wear them or hit the road.
You're not coming in. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So wear some masks. Wear masks. It does help. It does keep things in check.
I mean, we don't know how much longer we're going to be wearing these masks, but I'm going to tell you now, we are wearing them for a while.
Yeah, I think we're wearing them till we get a vaccine.
Yeah,
That's probably what's going to happen.
and it's not
So
fun.
you want to talk last subject, Washington Redskins?
Yeah, yes, I
Want to throw
do,
that in
because
for the last?
it's been going on since yesterday. Uh,
Yeah.
the Washington, it's not really the team, it's the sponsors now. The major sponsors are getting to a point where they want them to change the name, or basically they will not, they'll part ways. So
Well,
now Daniel Schneider, go
I
ahead.
heard Nike was going to take down every piece of Redskin merchandise off their website and until they change their name.
Yeah, well, Daniel Schneider today said it best and said that they're going to look into this matter, and we're going to see how that accomplished and everything else. But but we've always been hearing about the Redskins have been under fire for their nickname for so many
I mean,
years.
they've been on for 15 years or something, or since they even had the
Hmm.
Redskins name.
But now, because of what's been going on the last
There's
about
more
2 months
pressure.
now,
I think
there's
it
more
is.
pressure on.
I think it is more pressure than it has been in recent memory.
Yeah. I mean, we're
So
going to have to. I mean, next week when we're on the air again, this is going to be a very good subject to talk about, because I don't think it's going to be more than a Washington Redskins. Because remember, the Cleveland Indians is another team.
yep.
I don't want to go into that detail, but I'm hoping the Cleveland Indians don't start thinking about wanting to change their name too.
Well, Cleveland Indians, is that really? That's not as threatening as the Redskins. That's actually Redskins actually means a tribal name and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually an honor for some of the uh, Indians and stuff like that to be called Redskins and stuff. But
Right.
The Cleveland Indians changed their name for their logo of Chief Wahoo.
Yep.
They changed Chief Wahoo.
Yeah, and ever since there hasn't been an issue about that whatsoever.
No.
So, but that's something to discuss about for the next time, because we may have to go through and look at what teams, have an interesting nickname. I know there's some college football teams that really want to change that logo. Or for another example, Boston University just changed their nickname for their mascot because it was a terrier, and I guess terrier is a no-no, I suppose, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. I mean, facts are facts on this. No one's going to be pleased with anything.
No, never.
Never. You're not going to please everybody. You're just not. It just doesn't happen. We're too many of us.
Right.
We have our own minds and we think our own ways. So we're never going to change everybody. I mean, they could say the New England Patriots are, logo should be changed or something.
Right.
Or the New York Yankees logo needs to be changed because it's Yankees.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least they haven't talked about that, but I'm sorry, but now you now all of a sudden you want to talk about the Redskins, and you really want to try and do this now after all these years that you wouldn't want to do it, and now here we are. Now you want to change the name, or else the major sponsors are going to leave you.
And I think it being a football team, the major sponsors really don't want to pull away because it's a football team, and that generates a lot of money for them.
Absolutely. And it's just too bad too. At that point, I mean, I've been looking at some information if what other sponsors are gonna pull out. I mean, let me see real quick. I mean, we got a couple minutes. We came on about 2 minutes late, but
we're still good on time. One other ththing we should mention is the New Britain. Yard Goats have canceled their season.
Yep.
So
We forgot to mention.
I'm wearing
that.
my Dunkin' Donuts cap.
Yeah, unfortunately, was it the right move? I'm gonna probably have to say yes, because to me, 60 games for the major league level. And with the minor leagues, you would have only been able to play for 2 months.
Yeah.
And that would have been tough on scheduling. And
I don't think they would even have the players set and ready because Major League Baseball doesn't even have their players set and ready. They don't even know who's making those teams.
And then the problem is now, what do you do with the Yard Goats? Are they going to go? Are they going to be allowed to stay with the Rockies affiliation for 1 more year because they didn't play this year? Or are they going to tell them, nope, I'm sorry, that's it, we're done with the affiliation?
Well, hopefully they continue with some affiliation. I mean, the stadium's only 3 years old.
Yeah, so. I know. You don't want that stadium to go to waste after all these years and all these controversies, court battles, and
the stadium not being ready in time and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need that stadium, and no, that stadium doesn't need another renovation right now.
No, absolutely not. I've been there a couple times. It's a beautiful stadium.
So have I.
I mean, only thing I don't like it's structured like Fenway, which I don't like.
Yeah,
because they have a green monster. I mean, get that thing off of there. Take a chainsaw, cut it off, do something with that.
Well, or worst case scenario, I go to a game last year 2 years ago and see a yoga demonstration class. But
well, they have goats like doing yoga with people.
Yeah, that's what they actually did when I was there.
So, I mean, I think they're having a dinner.
Are they still going to have some like semi-professional ball games at the place or no?
I've heard like they're not having that. They're doing some like special dinners where you can have lunch or dinner in the diamond and stuff out in the field.
Oh, I can see this now. Having people put tables and chairs out there on the baseball field and 6 feet apart. And and you can see it now. Where you're going to put all your cooking equipment, your dining equipment.
Well, they got room for all that stuff.
Well, they got plenty of room, yeah. But it's all about now. You got to put tables and chairs out there, and you got to do it on a night where it doesn't rain, or you better have a roof over your heads.
Well, I'm sure they're planning on for all that stuff, but they got to have something there this year. I don't think
they've already lost a lot of money.
Yeah, so that's that. I think we covered pretty much.
Yeah, I think we covered what we were supposed to do today. The one topic we will get into it next week will be about what we did a little bit briefly about the Redskins and the Indians and all that. We will go into that detail next week on the weekend when hockey opens up their training camps, hopefully. So we'll take it from there. And on that note, I want to wish everybody a good holiday, 4th of July. Please stay safe. Don't throw anything illegal for fireworks.
Make sure you're right next to Coachy's house. Light some fireworks off. His dog loves it.
No. Yeah, I would. No, and remember, Joe, you better watch. You got houses between both your houses to just.
Yeah, I know, but we don't have a lot of fireworks around me.
Consider yourself lucky.
I got 90-year-old teachers living across the street and 60-year-old teachers right next to me. So they don't bother anybody.
Good. You got a better chance than me because tonight I'm waiting for the first ones to go off at 8 o'clock tonight. So.
All right. This has been the Sportsman Show. I've been your host, Joe Musil.
And I'm Jason, Coach of Careless. And on this note, before we leave, we want to say thank you very much for the Bristol Press who decided to give us in page A5 this week about our stunning pictures from the show, and we appreciate what Nutmeg TV did to give us a half a page like that, because that truly means that we're going to be at this for a while.
Yes, that means they truly believe in us, and they believe in the power of sports.
Right. So let's not give up the fight for it, and let's keep it going.
We'll see you next time.